Hi, it's Dana from We'll Talk with the Ingredient Inspector investigation on cholesterol 2018. What is cholesterol? Cholesterol is a waxy lipid or fatty substance that is essential for our bodies to function. Essential means it is necessary for us to have cholesterol to survive. A cholesterol molecule contains 27 carbon atoms. Cholesterol exists attached to fatty acids as cholesterol esters, or what is called esterified. Or cholesterol exists unattached as free cholesterol, unesterified. Regardless of whether cholesterol is free or has been attached to a fatty acid, the cholesterol molecule is the same. And we see that here. The red area is the esterification site. It's where the cholesterol attaches to the fatty acid when it is a cholesterol ester. Where does cholesterol come from? There is endogenous cholesterol, which is created inside our bodies. Your body creates cholesterol inside every cell. This is cellular synthesis. Your body also creates cholesterol in the liver. The majority of the cholesterol in your body was created by your body. Cholesterol is in every cell membrane and in some organelles membranes inside every cell. Our bodies are constantly adjusting for a state of cholesterol homeostasis, which keeps us at ideal cholesterol levels. There is also exogenous cholesterol. Exogenous cholesterol enters our bodies from the outside, from food. I always think of an exit sign to remember that exogenous is from the outside. Dietary cholesterol refers specifically to cholesterol in foods from animals, for example, fish, animals, and dairy products. All living creatures in the animal kingdom have cholesterol that was created inside them. When we eat these animal-based foods, we are consuming the cholesterol of these animals. Dietary cholesterol has minimal impact on our body's cholesterol levels. The majority of dietary cholesterol is in the form of cholesterol esters, which is mostly excreted because only free cholesterol can be absorbed in the gut. If needed by our bodies, a portion of the dietary cholesterol is deesterified. It converts from being a cholesterol ester to free cholesterol. It goes from being attached to being single and available to our bodies. How is cholesterol vital to our bodies? Cholesterol is needed for every metabolic process in the body. It is essential for building healthy cells. It helps make the membranes of cells waterproof and flexible. It's in the lipid bilayer of every cell. Cholesterol provides protection from oxidation and pathogens or microbes that cause disease. It's essential for the production of all steroid hormones that influence growth, metabolism, and reproduction. It is a precursor to cortisone, which is the stress hormone. It's needed in the synthesis of bile, which is an essential part of digestion. It helps the body metabolize fat, glucose, and fat-soluble vitamins. Cholesterol stabilizes proteins that are crucial in functions of calcium and glucose regulation. And it serves as the base chemical for vitamin D synthesis from the sun's UVB rays. It is a precursor for vitamin D3. How does cholesterol help heal our bodies? Cholesterol stabilizes proteins that are crucial in functions of blood clotting and thinning. It helps control harmful inflammation. It is used to stabilize tissues after an infection. All scars inside and outside of the body are full of cholesterol. This includes scars in the arterial walls. Arterial walls are the sides of the veins which carry blood from the heart throughout the body. It also protects against arterial damage by covering tears and abrasions in arterial walls. So if you remember it, how we talked about it as sort of a waxy substance, these thoughts kind of make sense in terms of it being this protective shield for many different things going on in our body. How does cholesterol function in our brain? Cholesterol is essential for brain development and function and protection. 25% of the body's cholesterol is in the brain. It's essential in cell signaling, or how cells communicate with one another. It enables the connections between neurons or brain cells to stimulate learning and memory and thinking. These connections are known as synapses. Synapses need cholesterol in their creation. Cholesterol protects against nerve damage by coating the nerves. It's part of myelin. Myelin also helps conduct electrical nerve impulses necessary for sensory input. What are lipoproteins? The definition of lipoproteins. Lipos is the Greek word for fat. Lipoprotein equals fat plus protein. Before entering our bloodstream, cholesterol is paired with fats and proteins to form lipoproteins. Cholesterol is contained within lipoproteins. The function of lipoproteins is to transport various substances into the bloodstream to needy cells. Lipoproteins are how cholesterol and fat and certain other items are transported through our bodies, in partnership or as a component of lipoproteins. The primary substances transported by lipoproteins include cholesterol, fat as triglycerides, specific proteins, and fat-soluble antioxidant vitamins such as A, D, E, K, and CoQ10. What are HDL and LDL? HDL stands for high-density lipoprotein. LDL stands for low-density lipoprotein. HDL and LDL are often erroneously differentiated as forms of good and bad cholesterol. HDL and LDL are not cholesterol. Just to be clear on that, because there's a lot of confusion, it seems, around this, HDL and LDL are not cholesterol. HDL and LDL are lipoproteins. The last L in each stands for lipoprotein. HDL and LDL particles contain cholesterol, but we know that a cholesterol molecule has 27 carbon atoms. The cholesterol molecules contained in HDL and LDL are identical. It's the same molecule regardless of where it exists. Cholesterol is measured with regard to lipoproteins because the cholesterol component of lipoproteins cannot be separated or isolated for measurement. What is density? Density is mass per unit volume. Since we're talking about lipoproteins being relative degrees of density, we just want to make sure we know what density is. So there's high density, like if you think of an apricot, the fruit, and low density, like a hollow ping pong ball. Density is a measure of how much of something, the mass, is contained within a certain amount of space or volume, the compactness of something. Something that is high density is heavier for a given volume than something which is low density. When in a liquid solution, like our bodies, the plasma of our bodies, where lipoproteins move around, buoyancy or the floating ability of something is a measure of its density. The more dense something is, the greater its density, the more likely it is to sink or not float. So here's our body of water. We have the apricot as high density and the ping pong ball as low density. When we drop each of these into the water, the ping pong ball floats and the apricot sinks. What are the differences between HDLs and LDLs? You may hear or see the term HDL cholesterol, HDLC in abbreviation, or LDL cholesterol, LDLC in abbreviation. These simply refer to where the cholesterol is located on an HDL or an LDL particle. LDLC refers to cholesterol found in LDL particles. Since the cholesterol molecule is the same regardless of where it resides, it is not the cholesterol molecule that differentiates high-density lipoproteins from low-density lipoproteins. Right? It's the same molecule. It's the density, composition, and functions that differentiate HDLs and LDLs. In a lipoprotein, the ratio of lipid to protein determines its density. The more protein present versus lipid, the denser the lipoprotein particle. To end this video on part 1 of cholesterol, some quotes from books on the subject. The cholesterol in your diet is never a major determinant of the cholesterol levels in the blood or in the body. Dr. Chris Masterjohn, PhD in Nutritional Sciences. Dietary cholesterol has an insignificant effect on blood cholesterol. It is clinically meaningless. Nonetheless, the advice to eat less cholesterol remains gospel. Gary Taubes, the author of Good Calories, Bad Calories, and Why We Get Fat. The majority of cholesterol in our blood comes from our own bodies making it. I don't think a lot of people understand that concept. People mistakenly think that they get most of their cholesterol from their food, and it's not true. Ms. Cassie Bork, RD, registered dietitian. Yes, the imagery of the clogged drain pipes is simple, familiar, and evocative. It is also wrong. Dr. Michael Rothberg from the Cleveland Clinic. If you had asked me 20 years ago if I thought blood cholesterol levels were critically important, I would have said yes. But now my views have changed. I just wasn't very up on the science then. I was misguided. Dr. John Briffa, a practitioner of integrated medicine and the author of Escape the Diet Trap. What we showed is that you don't induce heart disease by consuming dietary cholesterol. Dr. Fred Kummerow, PhD, the author of Cholesterol is Not the Culprit. We are constantly being bombarded by messages that encourage and maintain this cultural myth about cholesterol being linked to heart disease. It's a myth that has been perpetuated for the last 50 years. As long as we continue to use derogatory terms about cholesterol, the confusion will go on. Dr. Philip Blair, Cholesterol Clarity by Jimmy Moore with Dr. Eric Westman. There is absolutely no correlation between saturated fat intake, cholesterol levels, and heart disease. From the Great Cholesterol Con by Dr. Malcolm Kendrick. Cholesterol isn't a serious risk factor for heart disease. From the InterHeart study. In terms of heart health, cholesterol testing is 99% irrelevant because cholesterol is not what causes heart disease. We've long known it is an inflammatory disease. Dr. Dwight Lundell, cardiovascular and thoracic surgeon and author of The Great Cholesterol Lie. And finally, in over half of new heart attacks, the cholesterol levels are normal or well below normal. Dr. Dwayne Graveline, NASA astronaut and scientist, USAF flight surgeon, and author of Statin Drug Side Effects and the Misguided War on Cholesterol. So that's the ingredient inspector from Will Talk, so you can make excellent decisions about what is best for you. For more detailed information on cholesterol, look for video part 2. Ingredient Inspector on Twitter and YouTube. ingredientinspector.org. Share with the ones you love.